Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, babies in their diapers, welcome to the Tiberius Show with your host, Tiberius Boy.
That's me, Tiberius.
And welcome to the Tiberius Show today. And I'm your host, Tiberius Boy. And as always, we're looking at various jobs and how they affect the world around us. Today's guest is going to be very interesting. We're going to talk to a development director. Do you have any idea what someone like that does? Well, let's talk to this guy and find out. Let me introduce our next guest, or guests, the one, the only, the amazing people, Brian NeSmith and Jimmy Maratti.
Hello.
Hello, thank you.
Well, thank you for being on the show.
Glad to be here.
Thanks for inviting us.
No problem. Okay, so you are listed as a development director, Brian.
Yes.
And now I know they raise money for a charity, but what charity do you run?
Well, I'm the development director for First Tee Central Florida, and we are a youth development organization. And we what we do is we put together character building programs and curriculums, and we use golf as our tool. And so we invite kids out to become part of programs on the golf course. They learn the game of golf, but in the process, they learn life lessons that they can take with them as they become older and adults.
Huh. Okay, so what got you interested in the world of corporations and charities?
Well, early in my career, I worked in the nonprofit sector. I started in for-profit, then I worked in nonprofit. I worked in the healthcare nonprofit through two different organizations, both here in the greater Central Florida area. And then I spent a lot of years working in the for-profit sector. And when COVID hit, of course, that changed everything for a lot of people. And I decided to go back to school after COVID hit and pursue an MBA. And when I finished, I decided I wanted to go back into the nonprofit world, specifically in the area of development.
Okay. So, according to my dad, you worked with Chick-fil-A? Well, what'd you do to help him out?
So that was my time during for-profit. I did marketing for Chick-fil-A. I was the area marketing director for Central Florida, which means I handled the marketing efforts of roughly, at the time, I believe it was around 30-something stores in about four or five different counties around here in Central Florida. And what I did, I kind of did a big picture view of marketing, like when you saw the billboards or when you came out to community events, that sort of thing. I was usually behind the scenes involved in that, helping develop the brand and push the brand. That was many years ago. They have many more restaurants now as the brand has grown, but that's what I did early in my for-profit career.
Okay, so now going back to charities, well, what does your charity help out with?
Well, I'll tell you, that's a good question for Jimmy. Jimmy is our program coordinator, and he can talk a little bit about the programs and how they work.
Yeah, so as Brian said, we are a youth-based organization, a nonprofit surrounded around golf. As a lot of people know, golf isn't that accessible to people, so we make that easier by cutting the cost, lowering the cost. We do big group lessons to help with cost effectiveness. We give out clubs, stuff like that. Whatever we need to get into the field of golf, we break down all the barriers. Cool. So, yeah, whoever needs to get into golf, specifically kids, we break down every barrier to help them get introduced into golf.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what is your strategy for marketing charity so fast?
Well, we obviously have to get out in the community. This is a great example of it, just us being here. We speak at different organizations. We speak to a lot of parents. We go to schools. We have programs in schools. And so, for example, the programs in schools, we carry special equipment into the schools, and we train the physical education teachers, and they are able to introduce the kids to the game of golf through our programs with very safe equipment so they can use it indoors. And we also have outreach programs to different areas of our community that are considered at risk. So when we have at-risk youth at different parts of the community, we're able to go in, talk to these partners. We have partners such as the Salvation Army, the South Orlando Y, and among others. And we go in and we are able to offer programs for kids that can come in for different programs.
Ah, cool. So I see that you have worked with multiple charities, and what have been their biggest differences between them?
Well, I mean, the obvious difference is the cause. I mean, the different charities are always, they're always plugging their cause, and rightfully so, because all those causes are important. But the biggest difference is probably how you approach development with the different charities, because they are different causes. You have different ways of approaching your fundraising efforts. If it's a healthcare related cause, obviously that's going to be focused in the health area. With our cause, we're very much focused on the youth development side and the character building curriculum.
Mm-hmm. So, which one's your favorite?
I like the youth causes. I really do. I enjoy the youth causes. I enjoy the causes that help out the youth, especially at-risk youth.
Like First T Orlando?
Exactly. Isn't that a great hat?
So, what key factors do you consider crucial for a successful charity?
Well, some of the key factors, one of them is involvement in the community. You need to get involved in the community. You need to have a very active board of directors. And those, when I say active, I mean those board of directors members need to believe in your charity. They need to be contributing to the fundraising efforts of your charity. So I think those are two really big key success factors.
Okay. Now, Jimmy, what's the best part about working as a programming coordinator and working with the kids?
So the best part is watching them hit that awe moment in their golf shot, or whenever they first get into golf. You can see when they first start, they're not that into it, and then when they get started and they might hit that perfect shot, you can see they're hooked on it from then. Watching them grow and develop as well, watching them get better over the years, watching them travel around the country to golf all over the place. It's super fun watching them develop.
Now, here seems like a good time to take a quick commercial break. Let's hear a word from our sponsors.
So you want to make an ad for your company, right?
Yeah, Tiberius, you want to help me?
Okay, so what's the name of the company?
PPWND.
PP what?
Professional Pressure Washing and Detailing.
So you like clean driveways?
Yeah, like that. We pressure wash commercial buildings and semi-truck and trailers.
So how would someone get a hold of you?
They can visit my site at ppwnd.com or call me at 407-900-7793.
So I just tell them to call you at 407-900-7793 or visit ppwnd.com?
Yeah, Tiberius, you got it.
Cut! That's a wrap! Just use that!
Oak Ridge Gun Range is a family-oriented shooting range that has been in business for over 30 years. They specialize in basic firearm training and offer numerous services such as consignments, gun trades, gunsmithing, and concealed weapon classes. I even got my training for gun safety at Oak Ridge Gun Range. Great customer service, and firearm safety is what they do best. So find out more at oakridgegunrange.com.
And we are back with Brian and Jimmy. Now, Brian works for First Tee, and so does he. And they teach kids how to play golf. So Jimmy, what's the most misunderstood part about the charity?
So with First Tee, we're known as an introduction to golf. Throughout the past years, what we're most misunderstood about is that after you're done with beginning into golf, you kind of leave us. But we are turning that back around. We're starting it to where, after you've began your process, we have multiple options how to get better, national opportunities, stuff like that.
Ooh,
So,
national opportunities.
Yeah.
I have some things of that. So what are one of the most common pitfalls or mistakes that charities make when trying to raise money for their charity?
Well, I would say the most common pitfalls and mistakes are probably come down to communication and follow-up with donors. Donors are not just people that are handing their money to us and walking away. They want to know what's going on with the money that they're giving. They want to know what's going on with the organization because they are investing part of their life and their livelihood into the organization. And so I think it's good to have good communication and follow up with them so you can maintain that relationship, and sometimes that can be a common pitfall.
Okay. Now, what's the best way to avoid that problem?
Well, the best way to avoid that problem is to make sure that they know the different communication sources. In today's technology, it's very easy to keep that communication channel open, whether it's through social media, whether it's through emails, whether it's just through a simple phone call. And it's easy for them to ask questions. We are always very transparent. with what we do, with our programs and our finances. And so if they ever had a question, it would be very easy to contact us and find out.
Now, I know you because we met at Rotary. Well, what have you learned in Rotary that you've put in practice into your work?
Well, I am not a member of Rotary, actually. I was invited to come speak at Rotary to share about First Tee. I met some great people at Rotary, and I learned a lot about the service that Rotary does in the community. And they were very accommodating, and it was a great experience. And we were happy to be able to spread the word about First Tee Central Florida to the wonderful people at Rotary.
Mm-hmm. Well, what's the craziest thing that's happened while you were doing your passion, Jimmy?
The craziest thing that happened to me while I was doing our passion. Well, clearly my passion is golf. I would say when I started out at First Tee as just a kid. So I started out when I was 7. So maybe when I was 14, I was going to one of the national opportunities, and it was all the way out in California. Wow. And I've never been on an airplane before. So, and, you know, they kind of just threw us at it, you know, get on your flight like normal people. And my dad was going on the flight, and I think I went to go to the bathroom. And when I came back, I went to the wrong flight and just started walking on the airplane. And I was looking for my dad, and I was like, yeah, I don't know where he's at. And my dad's plane was just about to take off to go to California. I don't even know where this plane was going, but I eventually came back and got on the right airplane. I think that was probably the craziest thing that's happened to me in First Tee.
Now that's funny. Well, what's the craziest thing that that happened when you were trying to do your passion?
Well, I'm going to revert back to when I was working for a different charity, and the charity had an event that we were planning, and we were told to expect 5,000 people to attend this event. Now, that is a very large number to come to a charity event, but we decided that we would go with what was being recommended, and we planned for 5,000 people, and I think we had about 200 people show up. And so we had food coming out of our ears, we had expensive entertainment, and it was just it was a royal flop. It probably the one event out of my career that I would like to forget, and that's why I'm not giving you a lot of details about it, just because I've tried to forget it over the years.
So, if someone wanted to work towards being a development director or programming coordinator, what's the first thing that they should do?
Well, for a development director, you definitely need to go to school. It's something where I think an education is important. The other thing you need to do is, I think it's a good idea when you get out of school, or even while you're in school, to do some work interning with nonprofits in town. Find a nonprofit that you're interested in and go do some work for them as an intern. Get to know people in that world so that you understand, if that's a world that you are still interested in. But yeah, definitely get some experience in it and take some time to learn more about it while you're in school.
So what's the best advice you've ever received? Who gave you that advice?
Do you want to go, Jimmy? Or
Yeah,
do you want
I'll
me?
go.
Okay.
The best advice I've ever received. I would say the best advice I was ever given was to not quit on golf, not because of how tough it is, but because of how much opportunity it gives. Just because, when you first think about golf, you're like, oh, I want to be a professional. You don't have to be a professional. You can be a coach. You could be a development director. You could be a program coordinator. There are probably millions of jobs that golf is centered around marketing and everything. You don't have to be a pro. And I like that advice, that you don't have to be the perfect pro. There are plenty of opportunities in golf.
That's true. Just like in any sport, don't have to be a pro.
And
What's the best advice have you ever received?
Yeah. I was going to answer the same question. My advice was given to me in terms of on the professional side of things, and it's actually pretty simple piece of advice, I always thought, but it was always very effective. And it was very simply, people will forget things that you say, but people will not forget how you made them feel. And I always thought that was very important about how you treated people, not only in development, but also in business in general, because you want everyone to feel important. You want everyone to feel respected, no matter what their position is. So I always thought that was some great advice.
Well, what message do you want to tell children all over the world about doing the work that you do?
Come check it out. Come be a part of it and stick with it. Sometimes it's easy to try something a couple of times and just say, oh, this isn't for me, and put it down and walk away. But kind of like what Jimmy was talking about in terms of not quitting, stick with it, stick it out, and see what you can learn by staying with in our case, the game of golf.
Well, on that note, let's take a quick break to pay some bills.
The Tiberius Show would like to thank one of their dedicated sponsors, Custom Designs Orlando. These guys are on Mills Avenue and do all sorts of stuff, ranging from photo ID badges, engraved signs, custom braille ADA signs, vinyl lettering to trophies and awards. The cool part about Custom Designs is they can ship products all over the United States. You can reach them at 407-898-0373 and tell them that
Tiberius
sent you.
Over 40 years, Lighthouse Central Florida has provided education, independent life skills, and job training to thousands of Central Floridians who live with blindness or any degree of vision loss. Whether it's picking out clothes in the morning or just moving around your community and serving Orange, Seminole, and Osceola counties, contact Lighthouse Central Florida at 407-898-2483 or visit them online at lighthousecfl.org.
And we are back with Brian and Jimmy. Now, Brian, what's the favorite part of your day?
Well, Jimmy and I would probably agree that if we were just kidding around, we'd say lunch, because we're always talking about hey, where are we going to eat today? But probably one of the favorite parts of my day is when we get a chance to interact with the people that we're serving, whether it's a donor, a sponsor. I'll speak for Jimmy in his case. It may be some of the coaches or some of the kids on the course. But those are usually probably the favorite parts of our day. But I don't want to completely speak for Jimmy, so I'll let him speak for himself.
My favorite part is when I get to substitute for coaching. So with my role, it's pretty broad. I help with programming in general. So sometimes I have to coach, and coaching is easily the best part, just because I actually get to see the impact of what we do in the office. Brian doesn't get to see that so much. I tell him every now and then of a kid smiling at lunch, kid smiling that he hit a perfect shot, that's because of his charity work and stuff like that. Oh, a kid got brand new clubs, that's because of him bringing in money, stuff like that.
So talking about First Tee here, how does this help the underprivileged play golf?
So like we said before, it breaks down every barrier. Golf is normally known for being a rich man's sport. We break that down completely. We offer college scholarships. We offer scholarships into our program. We send kids nationally. If you can't afford clubs, we give clubs. Everything. If you need clothes, we give shirts like this. We give hats. Like, look at that beautiful hat. We break down literally every barrier just so kids have the opportunity to be in the golf world.
Okay. Well, if you could go back 10 years and tell yourself something, what would it be?
10 years. 10 years and tell myself something. I might. Gosh, that's a good question. I don't think about 10 years ago. Maybe not buy that car that broke down. Let's see. 10 years ago and tell me something.
We did tell you that we're going to be hard questions.
I know. Jimmy, do you have a 10-year ago
Yeah.
thought?
I feel like
all right.
that'll be easy.
Okay, that's easy for him, so let him do that.
I would be 13 years old, so I feel like...
There's a bit of an age gap between Jimmy and myself.
Right
There you go. So I would say move to Orlando sooner, because I am from Tampa, and even though I love Tampa with all my heart, there are so many new things in Orlando that I love so much. So I would say right when you turn 18, kick out the door and go to Orlando.
So I upon thinking about that, I would say 10 years ago, just ask a lot of questions, ask more questions. I think sometimes people try and figure things out on their own too much. And I think if you ask more questions from people that really have been there and know what they're doing, then it helps you move along a little faster.
Okay. Well, what was the biggest mistake that both of y'all have made ever? How did you change you as a person?
The biggest man. There's been too many mistakes to say which one's the biggest mistake. the biggest. I'm sorry.
Buying a Ford. I feel like that. Would
Buying a Ford. Oh, careful.
Sorry.
Hey, I have a Ford. So the biggest mistake. Gosh, I'm trying to think professionally. I mean, I'm sure there's a ton of them I've made. I would probably say that there were times where I left one opportunity thinking another one was coming. That was the grass is greener on the other side, and it wasn't necessarily.
No, it wasn't.
Where I was really a good place to be, and so that I'm sure. Yeah, I definitely did that.
So, when you guys are not working, what do you do for fun?
I'm in a band, so I play guitar and drums.
And what's your band called?
I have two bands. The one I play guitar for is called Crimson Days, and then the one that I play drums for is called Celestial Moon. So you should check those out.
Ooh,
They're
Celestial Moon.
really fun bands.
And for me, my lifestyle is a little bit different than Jimmy's. And I've got 3 kids at home. I've got 3 boys, so I spend a lot of time at their activities, whether it's football games or I've got one of them that's doing first tee right now. And also I enjoy fishing when I'm not doing that, and so we sometimes try and get out by the water as well.
Okay. Now, can you tell me that one story, both of y'all? Now, remember, this is a kid's show, but that one story, well, that you're not supposed to tell me about. Come on. Y'all can tell me.
An embarrassing story. Brian, do you have anything ready?
See, that's the thing is when I'm embarrassed, I try and block it out of my memory so I don't have to deal with it ever again.
I think I have one. So when I first started as a musician, I think I was like 13. I just picked up the guitar and I practiced for maybe about a month. And I was like, what? I think I'm ready to hit the stage. So I talked to a local coffee shop, and there was maybe like 10, 12 people. And I go in there with my guitar and amp, and I just start rocking out. And in my head, I'm like, oh man, I'm like Slash. I'm hitting every note perfect. And then looking back at it now, that was the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. That was so embarrassing. If I could remove that from every camera ever, I totally would. It was so sad, but it was an experience. So
Okay. So, you, Brian?
Okay, well, actually, as Jimmy was talking, I thought of one. So, at growing up, when I was younger, I went with a group to this theme park, and they actually had this booth where you could go in and sing a song. They had different songs to choose from. It was like a mini recording studio.
Karaoke?
Not karaoke. It was actually a recording studio. So me and some friends went in and recorded a song, and as I listened to it as I got older, it was really awful. But my mom was so proud of it. She used to play it for people, and it would always embarrass me whenever she did that.
Can we listen to it?
No, that was on a
we
cassette
find it?
tape, which is no longer in existence.
Oh, no.
Thankfully, I think it's probably been burned.
We should have brought it.
No one will ever hear that again. That was many years ago. But no, my singing career didn't amount to anything.
Well, do you guys have a Facebook for First Tee or a website for my listeners who want to follow you guys?
Yeah, we have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We have our own website. Just look up First Tee Central Florida .org for our website, and anything on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. We're all over the place.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
LinkedIn as well.
LinkedIn as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what is that one question that you guys think I forgot to ask you?
The one question.
I'll let Brian go on that one.
The one question. Let's see. I'm trying to think in terms of development. The one question that.
Could be any question.
The one question can be any question.
Any question.
Well, you didn't ask Jimmy, since he's in a band, what his favorite song is.
Oh yeah, I like that question. You could
What's
ask,
your
or my
favorite
favorite band, or something like that.
Yeah, your favorite.
Favorite band, favorite song?
Yeah, my favorite band. It would probably, besides my own, obviously. I really love Kiss. They're the people who got me started. They're the band that got me started. My favorite song, different from Kiss, I would probably. How about from my generation? I guess anything from Rihanna. I'll say that. Anything from Rihanna. She's awesome.
That works. Well, thank you, Brian and Jimmy, for being my special guest. Can you all stick around for Math Corners?
Of course.
Sure.
That sounds amazing.
Aw, Dad, my computer's slow again and I can't play my games.
Call Your Computer Solutions today, and we will scan for viruses and clean that computer up remotely and make it fast again. Our phone number is 407-826-0810.
Thanks, Dad. My computer's fast again. Now I can do my homework. Thanks for calling Your Computer Solutions at 407-826-0810.
Tiberius' favorite subject, it's Math Corners!
And now it's time for Math Corners. Thank you so much, guys, for helping me with Math Corners. This week, we're going to do some more multi-step word problems. My dad is always good at finding new problems for me to solve. Today, we're going to talk about a golf tournament.
Whoa.
So Emma, Liam, and Alex participated in a golf tournament held at a prestigious course known for its challenging layout. Well, Emma's performance was exceptional, as she finished 4 strokes under par, showcasing her precision and skill. Liam had a steady round, but finished 5 strokes over par, and encountering challenges on the course. Alex, the youngest participant, finished 2 strokes over par, showing promise despite the course's difficulty. The par score was set for the course by the tournament organizers, which was 71. Now, first, what was Emma's total score for the round? Second, what was Liam's? And third, what was Alex's? And last, calculate the average score for all 3 participants. Okay, guys, I think I got this. So Emma finished the tournament with an impressive score of 67, so being 4 strokes under par. Then Liam's round was solid, and he ended up with 76 strokes, 5 strokes over par. While Alex, the youngest participant, finished with 73 strokes, 2 strokes over par. And to find the average for all three of them, we add all of them together, which is 67 plus 76, which is and 73, which is 216. Divide 216 by 3, and it's an average score of 72 strokes. So, Brian, is 72 strokes good for a harder course for beginners?
72 is very good. Yes.
Yeah, Brian maybe shoots in the hundreds, so.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not the best golfer. Jimmy's better than me.
Just kidding, Brian. We love you. But 72 is amazing. Even if an intermediate person shot it, they'd be more than ecstatic to shoot that.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, guys, for your help with Math Corners.
Absolutely.
Of course. Thanks for having us.
And now it's time for the Heart of a Lion. As you know, we talk about the qualities of living by the heart of a lion, which stands for leadership, integrity, obedience, and nobility. This week, we are going to talk about some obedience. For me, I think obedience is being fully committed to doing what is pleasing to God. The qualities of obedience are compliance with a good attitude and respect for the laws. You know when someone is being obedient when they follow instructions willingly and thoroughly. Well, this week, I was very happy to announce that I made it to Nationals Detroit for the summer in July. I bowled in the national tournament for the U15 division. Now, how does it apply to obedience? Well, in order to be prepared, you have to be at the right bowling place at the right time. There's like 4 different bowling alleys, I think. It's really, really weird. And, you know, it's really hard, but it was tough. But I made it through, and because there were different patterns, there was all these different things, having to go to see different places, go all throughout Detroit. It was a lot of fun. And Brian or Jimmy, did y'all see any obedience at all this week?
Yes. I mean, being a father of 3, that's something that we preach in our house to teach the boys the importance of that. And absolutely, yes, we did. We saw it in many different ways, whether it was them just doing something as cleaning their room or doing something we asked them to do the first time. But yes, absolutely, I see that on a daily basis, thankfully.
Good. Jimmy?
Yeah, so following instructions as a program coordinator is a big aspect of my work. So I show obedience every day, I guess. I listen to instructions, I follow it through, I make sure that it's right, stuff like that.
Do you with a smile on your face?
Of course, always. For Wanda.
Oh, she's going to love you for that.
Well, it's going on the air. Well, of all the Heart of Lion virtues, which is the one that you guys see the most?
Probably in our line of work, leadership, because, you know, we have to take leadership roles with what we do for a living. We have to take leadership roles when it comes to, in my job, when it comes to getting things done in the development world. And I know in Jimmy's job, leadership roles when he's working with those kids on the golf course and in our outreach programs.
Yes,
Okay.
100%. I would say leadership. Integrity, I would be more into about golf because, there's no refs or anything like that. You have to tell the truth. No one can really attest to what you do out there. But, yeah, I think leadership is our biggest one just because.
Unless it's on TV.
Yeah, that one. And because there's so many leaderships in our office. There are so many people doing different things. So, yeah, a lot of leadership.
Okay. Well, we should always try to be lion strong in everything we do, shouldn't we?
Absolutely.
100%. That should be our new mascot, a lion.
And that's our show, folks. I want to thank the one, the only, the amazing Brian NeSmith and Jimmy Maserati, I think?
100%.
Well, for being on the show. It has been so much fun talking to you today. I think we learned a lot about first tee and working with kids and golf.
Well, we really appreciate you having us on today. It's been a lot of fun, and don't you think so, Jimmy?
It was super fun. I love this. This was awesome.
No problem. Do y'all mind giving your social media and website again?
Yeah, so we're First Tee Central Florida on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and then our website is just firstteecfl.org.
Okay. Also, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at The Tiberius Show. And I would like to thank WWPR 1490 AM, KINT 98, Soul Radio 24/7, Easy Way TV, and all of the other stations that air my show. Please be sure to visit The Tiberius Show on YouTube and hit that subscribe button. Brian and Jimmy, have y'all subscribed yet?
I have subscribed. I have.
Jimmy has.
Oh,
I don't think I have yet, but you know what, Jimmy? Wanda, our executive director, told me today she was going to do that.
Awesome. So we have 3 new subscribers.
Yeah, that's right.
Well,
Awesome.
2 right now. He needs to see.
Yeah, he
So,
needs to do
so
it.
Wanda, don't forget. Don't forget Wanda.
Oh, and leave a comment if you want to start working as a charity helper or owner. Also, be sure to listen to us next on The Tiberius Show with your host, Tiberius Boy.